All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here this Wednesday afternoon, October 12th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Great to see Leda and Michael and Mark, who picked up a nice trade just a moment ago on this APDN. Great to see Mark as well, including Andre and the rest of us joining us inside the live trading room. And great to see all of us back on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube. You can hear me, but you can't see me today. But for right now, APDN, it's grinding back on up. One of our students, Mark, just jumped in right from 250. He said he made $194. So congrats to Mark. We often care about the entry price, right? Because that could potentially allow other members, whether students or even trial members, better understand why you took the trade. So notice the entry price that Mark ended up getting in from 250, 50-cent level. So we often say that the iceberg orders are more commonly seen at least off the 50-cent levels and whole numbers. It was holding pretty well as resistance earlier in the morning, and then it broke above it. So over time, it was a little chippy around there. It took a couple of different stabs at it to try and lead to that push. Well, Mark caught it pretty nicely here heading into the mid-afternoon. After 1:30, it rebroke over 250, steady trend up. More of like a level 2-ish trade, even level 1 perhaps. I mean, it's gotten pretty slow. So it's a good trade for anyone to really, sink their teeth into. And it's got a liquid book, tight spread. There's still this big iceberg order right off of 270. I think it was actually at 271 a bit earlier and dropped at a penny. So roughly off that 270, you're going to find some big resistance as it's been generally holding under that price for right now. But yeah, APDN, I mean, Fausto was in love with this trade earlier this morning with all good reasons. I mean, this was a great trend from the morning, ran it up towards the highs at the time, roughly off that 280 level. So yeah, I mean, it would be hard for us to ignore this trade, hard for us to not put this on our main list. Also, for my own job security, I'm going to put this on our watch list. Fausto, I'm going to make sure that we trade this here for you. So I joke when I say that, of course, but either way, APDN looks really strong here at this point. Now, with that said, though, I mean, hey, the market coming off the PPI numbers and in lieu of the CPI numbers coming out tomorrow, we've gotten a whole bunch of consolidation, a whole bunch of hesitation. And that was to be expected, really, heading into today. So right now, the SPY is generally squeaking back up right now towards the highs. Hopefully it breaks a lot higher. I'm not expecting it at first. So we'll see if there's any other sideless stocks that are looking strong. I do know the cruise lines have been really good today. RCL probably the best, and then NCLH, and then CCL. So we'll check in with those just down the gainer side here at the bottom. Now we have the APDN to begin. We had the Fox O trying to tease us. It was trying to make that big break over 150 a little bit earlier, pretty much around the same time as the APDN breaking over 250. Listen, it's like really flat right now, right? The Fox O trade. And not only that, but there's still a big 16,000 or 14,000 share order on the ask right off 160. It topped off there a little bit earlier and then came right back down. So maybe I'll check back in on this trade at the end of this meeting. But for right now, let's see if there's anything looking a lot better. I mean, the cruise lines, we know we're looking better, so we'll get to that in a bit. FLJ, not a whole lot happening there. Peggy, Peggy is back over one of the big levels that we were talking about earlier inside the chat board. So, one of us was mentioning that they were in it from pre-market. Listen, we normally look to get out of our pre-market trades in the pre-market before the market opens, about 10, 15 minutes prior. You want to give yourself some time to breathe and relax, as I said from the morning meeting, and also just give the stock a chance to breathe and relax, just to settle, into the first 5 minutes. And then from there, if the stock makes a pretty strong push, then hopefully there's still a chance to jump in and ride the wave up. But from earlier, I was telling Armand and the rest of us here that Peggy had a resistance off the VWAP at 675. And then from there, this range of resistance. Notice the top blue line here off 711. That was a big halt print level from when this had reopened up off of a halt. You could see the open, 711. So it's shaking around there, generally holding that as support. snapped under it. It held it really well as resistance. False broke above it, but then held under it after. And, since it's been dancing around the VWAP, which is roughly around 674, 675 right now. Just earlier, it broke above it, but it really lost its momentum and eventually broke back under it. And I would have expected more of a pullback at this point. So it is interesting to see it back over VWAP here for right now. I'm not a full believer in this just yet. And I only say that given how much this stock ran the last 6 days. Remember, this is not our first day trading Peggy. This is not our second day or third or fifth. It's currently our 7th straight day calling out Peggy. We called it out initially off this green bar here. We didn't have it on our watch list at the time, though. It popped like in the afternoon, and we called it out from there. But then we had it on our watch list the subsequent days, and since it's been killing it for us. But at some point, the show is going to be over. We know that. We know that for every move that goes up, we're going to see a pretty sharp dump off at some point in time. So, if anyone took the swing trade on it, God bless them. But that's not what we were primarily looking to do with this stock. It's been an incredible day trade. And hey, if it holds here, pops over 7 and 7-11, maybe there is a chance for it to run even that much higher. But I'm not believing in it just yet. I'll come back to it at the end. We'll put this on our side list. So that's my long-winded answer on Peggy for right now. But the reason I say it that way is because, we have a lot of new members joining us as well. Not just longtime students like Grant or, Leda or Kathleen joining us otherwise alongside a bunch of us, but new members. You don't want to fall in love with the stock for too long. You're going to get crushed on it eventually, and it's only going to continue to dump. All right, let's see what else we got here. Gato, not a whole lot happening there, albeit it's near the highs. Epix, spotty graph, not a whole lot happening there. Familiar name, XXII. We've traded this several times over the years itself. I skipped over finger. I skipped over finger there in Loco. Checking on those, actually. WNW, Fausto had called out from the morning after the big pop there at 9:30. And then from that point, it ended up building back up pretty nicely for the time being. But then, eventually that 10:30 time hit, reversal time, came back down. It's still chipping away, I guess, right now, but it's really slow. It's like prototypical level 1 stock. If you're in the interest of watching paint dry, this would be for you. That's why I say it that way. If you're not looking to follow a stock this slow, then don't. FNGR, familiar name. Not only is this stock, moving back up today, but it's breaking over the highs even from last week, or it did at least from earlier. So, it's still looking relatively strong towards that last run up towards the high there of 980. We'll see if this can keep pushing. It's volatile enough. So hopefully it doesn't break support from this point. But FNGR, I don't mind putting back on our watch list here. All right, let's get to our cruise lines here because we were talking about the cruise lines earlier. RCL up the most percentage-wise than the rest, but RCL has been like a missile all afternoon. I mean, really all day, but, I hopped over to this stock going into the early afternoon at like 12:30. It was topping off at the time briefly at 43.50, but shortly after, re-broke that top, and then from that point ended up just continuing. Beautiful push today on RCL. And then, of course, just to follow, I mean, it's a whole sector-based play, but CCL, and then NCLH, Norwegian. So cruise lines collectively, of course, I'm going to just kind of tag all together on our watch list there, folks. Those 3 that we talked about. If you even want to get fancy with me as well, CUK is also a cruise line stock. That's actually another Carnival equity, just so you know. So I actually got that one on top, but the main ones, Royal, Carnival, Norwegian, those 3, right? All right, now we have a good watch list here, folks, at this point. We got Sober moving back up. Whoa, up over 9%. It's not really making like the type of push. Sometimes we'll like click on a stock and out of nowhere, it's like running like over the last 2 minutes. I thought that could have been the case here on Sober. I haven't checked in on this trade today. So little pop up, it's up, nearly 10%, but not a whole lot happening, at least on the intraday right now. Roblox, RBLX, Patrick P had called this one out earlier heading into the afternoon. And yeah, this one's pushing right back on up towards the highs, roughly off that 3760 area. So 3770, I should rather say. But yeah, looking very similar to like the cruise lines, just general strong trend across the day. So that's where you want to follow a trade like that. So RBLX definitely will keep an eye on. Perhaps you could say the same on Lyft, but I know that's been slow lately. It's at the highs, but it's just been a grinder of a move today. Uber might be more bang for the buck. I mean, they're making the same type of push pretty much, right? But I don't know. I'll keep these on the side list for right now. I feel like the cruise lines could be a sharper trade heading into the close. Roblox could be a sharper trade. Wouldn't hurt us to tag these on the back end, but let's make room for some others if there's any that are looking even better than those. I'll tell you one that's not looking as good, Moderna. Geez. I mean, very similar pop and drop type of move that we caught on Novavax yesterday. I mean, it was pretty similar. You know, this ended up running up on the intraday for us here, like beautiful trend up, but dump right back down to the point where there really wasn't any sense of support at all. Well, here, Moderna popped up in pre-market, popped up a little bit after the open to continue, topped off around like the 140, 150, then came right back down. And yeah, I mean, I guess in this case, there could have been a small, subtle bounce play, but heading into the afternoon, it is a smooth trend down. So I'll tell you, I mean, it wouldn't hurt us to put Moderna on our list, just given if you could do any puts on it, day trade the options on it, perhaps expecting this to fall lower into the close, right? Now, if you're not interested in doing any puts on this trade or otherwise day trading a very expensive equity, then just, don't let it be a distraction to you as much, right? So I normally don't like putting, all the expensive ones on our watch list, but this one, in terms of trend downward, it looks pretty good, right? All right, we have CENX. Wow, I forgot about this one. Rich had called this one out earlier. Keep in mind, folks, anytime that we see a stock get halted, that's like worth our time, not just some like crappy like low volume halt, but something that makes a big pop, news related, or just a circuit breaker halt, as they call it. We'll look to post that in the trading room under the alert section. So Rich had posted that earlier in the day at like 12 or at 11:21 in the morning. He wrote CENX shares halted on a circuit breaker to the upside, shares up 4.37%. I'll tell you, before I started the meeting even here, I ran back into this trade and I said, oh wow, I forgot about that. So for the second time, I'm going to say the same thing. Oh, wow, I forgot about this trade, CENX. Let's not forget about this trade going forward. It's really strong here at this point. So aluminum stock, CENX, we'll put on our watch list here. All right, good call, Rich. Let's see what else we have on the loser side right now. I mean, again, market's like complete flat right now. It hasn't popped higher just yet. In fact, it seems like it's made a little bit of a top here recently. So, we'll see what's on the loser's end right now. We'll jump to one right away. We killed it on this trade. The CCJ, I mean, the chart now looks garbage, but from the morning, from the market open, this was beautiful. It just took a little while for it to materialize off the 2250. After the market opened up, opening print was, I believe, right off that 2250. So with that, it was stabbing at that support throughout the mid morning or early morning for that matter. And then eventually, once it broke under it, smooth as can be. Like kind of on the Uber trade from yesterday, I left a ton of money on the table on this stock just because I'm expecting a bounce off at 22. So even here as it pushed up, I was like thinking like, oh, is this going to look to pop right back above 22 and potentially push up with the markets bouncing up at the time? So I ended up pulling the plug just shortly after, and then it ended up dropping right back down. So, left some money on the table there, but it was a nice, simple short. Don't want to say easy, but simple in terms of identifying the level beforehand. The opening print right off that 2250. Now at this stage, obviously, I said before, the CCJ here doesn't really look too good in any direction. And you could say it's bouncing back up slightly, but there's bigger and better fish in the sea to catch right now. All right, folks. Well, it might not come from the loser's side if there's any bigger and better fish. So we may have caught them all for right now. If there's anything else that looks really good, type it in the chat board. Let me know here across social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, and for all of us inside the live trading room. A couple of housekeeping notes as well just before we finish up this meeting. SPWR, it's dropping off a little bit, dropping back down rather, I should say. It's tradable, but no real jolt or need to put this on our watch list just yet. Leda from before, I'm sorry, asking about Bed Bath Beyond. Bobby J, is it going anywhere or just teasing? Looks like it's starting to go somewhere, and that was from like a couple minutes back, so it seems like it's pushing up a little bit higher as we speak. So right now, yeah, Bed Bath Beyond, we'll put on our watch list here. Looks pretty interesting for right now, right? We'll check in with, I don't want to say sister stock, brother stock, sister stock. You're kind of just going in tandem if it's like a Wall Street Bets Reddit type of play. But AMC, it's moving up a little bit. Nice trend for right now. We know this stock could potentially make a big move, given the right conditions. If it's like one of those, like I'd said, Reddit meme type of plays, as they say. So that being AMC, Bed Bath Beyond. I mean, really, there's like a lot of stocks you can kind of group in there, but Affirm maybe, Express, EXPR. This doesn't seem to be going anywhere. All right, I guess we'll focus on the Bobby J for right now. Bed Bath Beyond, that is. GameStop, the king of the meme stocks, isn't really going anywhere. So yeah, for right now, we'll hold off. Andre with Tops, not going anywhere right now. This has been a stock that has teased us more than anything. Dan asking about the Alcoa trade alongside CENX. Just joined. Sorry if you went over it already. No, not the Alcoa trade. Went over CENX, but Alcoa. Where's Ron W? Where's Ron W inside our live trading room right now? One of our longtime students, actually Long Island native. AA, one of his favorite stocks. That's why I bring him up. But yeah, Alcoa, nice move up right now. I didn't really notice this until right now. And there's Ron inside our trading room, present. Perfect. So Ron, I hope you're already in this trade. I assume that you are, given I know that you follow this so often. So this is looking really strong. I didn't really notice this until right now, personally. Looking good, Alcoa. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up for right now. Just a couple of housekeeping notes, if maybe just one. If anything, just really quick, we had posted a small little clip on our YouTube channel for any one of us on YouTube or Facebook Live. Go right to our YouTube channel at least. You'll actually see a couple of recent videos that we had uploaded. Often we post our morning and afternoon meetings, as you know, but we ended up actually posting the recording from yesterday's closing bell webinar with Jeffrey Turnmeyer from Echo Trading. So he ended up doing a great presentation yesterday regarding his roadmap indicator. So make sure that you learn more about that. And then on top of that, I ended up putting up a quick little clip from our Traders Talk workshop that we conducted live yesterday. Now that's normally hosted exclusively inside our live trading room. So with that, you have to be a member. For all of us on YouTube and Facebook Live, just go right down to the link on the yellow banner below of this stream to sign up for our trial. You could access our live workshops, including our weekly Traders Talk workshop in full. But going forward, I think we'll look to post a couple of these little clips, these little small little clips from that workshop going forward on our YouTube page. So if anything, just make sure that you like and subscribe right on our YouTube channel and give a thumbs up also and comment on this video as well, please. So with that in mind, folks, just that is the only thing I have for you for right now. Otherwise, for all of us on Facebook Live, YouTube, any questions that you folks may have, perhaps prior to joining us inside our live trading room, feel more than free to email me. I always like to post my email here at the end of these streams, josh@ctutrading.com. Aside from that, though, folks, for all of us inside the live trading room, Ron, Lita, Andre, Mark, Patrick included, aside from them, all of us. Otherwise, I look forward to chatting with you folks coming up just at 3 o'clock here. Take care.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.